Hey sportsmen, John Bergsme here with Fisherman's Digest. Hey, we're live on site right here in Fenton at Freeway Sports Center. Listen, they have got a ton of boats here, unlike a lot of dealerships that are running out. Jim and the staff has done a great job of getting stocked up, knowing this is going to be a bonsai year. But let's get to the reports. We're going to have an awesome pre-Detroit River educational segment with Captain Eric Long right on the shores of the Detroit River in front of his guiding boat. Then we're going to take you out open water fishing. We've got great reports from Bowles Harbor right there in Monroe. We're around the corner in Port Clinton, Ohio with Captain Gary Zart, Captain Mitch Doherty, and Kelly from Irregardless should be on the water soon, so they're catching fish there. Then we're going to jump up to the Manistee River. We're going to talk with Captain Alex Bialik about the steelhead run that's happening. It's going to happen in big time right now with melting water. And we're going to end up the day with Captain Jason Vanderwater out of the Muskegon River. Stay tuned. We got 5 great reports, an awesome show here from Freeway Sports Center in Fenton. So, first report of the day. We're going to go ahead and take you up to Captain Alex Bialik in Manistee. And Alex tells me that the big females are in the river already. They're getting into that spawning mode, and they're going to be spawning soon. The rising water has got fresh fish coming in as well. And it's just going to be an awesome next 3 or 4 weeks. We've got perfect looking temperatures. We got a big warm up, then we're going to have real consistent mid-40s temperatures for several weeks. That'll keep the fish really stable and they should be biting well. Now, if you're looking to get out, really, to be honest, this is the one style of fishing where I'd tell people, unless you're all rigged up for it yourself, go ahead and call a guide and get out there on the river and enjoy it. River fishing can be a little bit iffy based on water levels and also if you know where you're at. It's not one of those things you can just show up and go do it unless you have experience. So give Captain Alex Bialik from Fireplug Charters a call. Get out on the Manistee River. The next 2 or 3 weeks should be the best fishing of the year.
White River Tackle's Perch Pounder is the finest 2-hook perch rig in the industry. Its unique fish skin technology, coupled with a soft glow bead, make the Perch Pounder irresistible to fish. Available in a variety of fish-catching colors, simply tip each hook with your favorite live bait and let the fun begin. So whether it's perch, crappie, or bluegill, ask for White River's Perch Pounder by name.
So hey, our next stop is the one that I think everybody's been waiting for, and that's Monroe, Michigan. You know, it is bonkers in Monroe on day one. I saw a lot of reports come into my email of guys just whacking pre-spawn females out of Bowles Harbor, Sterling State Park, that general area from the Michigan to the Ohio line. Now, these fish are biting on bandits. They've been in 15 to 20 feet of water. Guys are running their bandits back 25 to 40 to catch these fish. So that tells me they're kind of staging in that mid-depth area, 8 to 10 feet down. And as you get these sunny days, they're going to become hotter and hotter, meaning those fish are going to get ready to spawn. A lot of them are going to start heading up the Detroit River later this week. And next week, we're going to have a Detroit River report. But right now, it's still pre-spawn. And so if you're looking to get your boat out, get it out now. There is going to be no ice anywhere on the Lake Erie system or the Detroit River system probably by midweek with 3 60-degree days in a row. So again, Sterling State Park, Monroe, trolling 1.6 to 1.8, bandits back 25 to 40 in 15 to 20 foot of water. Have fun.
Midwest Steel Carports is Michigan's premier steel building manufacturer. We manufacture and install custom steel buildings throughout Michigan. Our engineer-certified steel buildings are fully tailored to fit your every need, and our up to 40-year warranty protects your investment. From residential storage sheds to commercial warehouses, let our team work with you to find your ideal building. For more information and pricing, visit MidwestSteelCarports.com.
So here in our next segment, we're going to talk about Port Clinton, Ohio. Now, a lot of people might say, John, that's a little bit early, you know, early March for Port Clinton, Ohio. But we had kind of a funky winter. It wasn't real powerful or strong. And believe it or not, pretty much all the ice on the whole Lake Erie system, even around the Bass Islands, is now busted up. And with a couple, 2-3 days of 60-degree temperatures, it's going to be gone. So this coming weekend, it's going to be lights out in that greater Port Clinton area. So how are guys catching them? Well, Captain Gary Zart and Mitch Doherty both sent me a nice first report of the year, and both of them said those fish are in the mid-depths, staging between 30 and 35 foot of water depth. Now you're going to see a lot of fish from the firing, north of the firing range, between the firing range and the Bass Islands in that 30 to 35 foot of water. The guys are catching them basically, it looks like 15 to 20 feet down. Looks like bandits maybe 70 to 110, 120 back. And those fish might, my tip to you is they might start to rise up with 3 straight sunny days. Typically big females will get close to the surface to try to warm their eggs right before they spawn, so that they can spawn all in one take, and that means they could be up in that upper 10 feet of water on sunny days. So don't forget to run a high line out, maybe a bandit or a P10 back maybe 50, a bandit back maybe 25, something in that 6 to 8 foot range. I've encountered a lot of pre-spawn females, especially on slick flat days, up there high in the column getting warm pre-spawn. So again, looks like all the parks and the ramps are open, Missouri's and the state park at Catawba. You could also go out of the smaller marinas between the Michigan line like Fenwick. Those are all great spots. There's going to be lots of fish out there. Looks like we're going to have really stable weather. So get out there on Lake Erie and catch yourself a big batch of first of the year walleye.
Traxstech combines angling experience and manufacturing know-how to create the ultimate fishing system. Rod holders, downriggers, mounts, and a host of accessories, all designed to maximize effectiveness while you're on the water. Traxstech products are fully engineered and made in the USA. Quality, versatility, and expandability. From the weekend warrior to the seasoned pro, Traxstech can design the ultimate fishing system for any size boat. Find out more at Traxstech.com.
So last report of the day takes us over to the Muskegon River area, where Captain Jason Vanderwater has, from Wreaking Havoc, has had a kind of an up and down year in the sense that when it was early season, it was awesome because of the moderate temperatures, but when it got cold, it got brutally cold there in those first 3 weeks of February. So that kind of almost shut steelheading off. I mean, when it gets that cold, it's just not physically able to fish. But Jason's back on the water. He was on the water already last week, getting the spots, getting everything set. He's got a few open dates. You'll want to get with him. Muskegon River is a really good steelhead fishery. It's very underrated. There's lots of fish. Right now, Jason said he's averaging about 4 into the boat with more hits per day. Of course, you're going to lose probably 50% of the steelhead you hook because they just fight so screaming crazy on the river. So this is an awesome time on the river too. To guys who've never fished this early spring, you see a lot of emerging wildlife. You see sights you're never going to see anywhere else. So get with Captain Jason, get out there on a Muskegon River trip. He also does guide up on the Manistee. So if the Manistee is your thing and other charters are booked, you know, Jason will definitely go up there and fish. He's really, really familiar with that river as well. So give Wreaking Havoc Guide Service a call. Get out on the river. Get addicted to that early season steelhead fishing. Check out the full line of Polar Kraft Boats at polarcraft.com. So hey everybody, John Bergsma with this week's Detroit River Report. Each week we're going to bring, as systems open up, we're going to bring you some expert advice and some tips from our guide crews and myself as to how to rig and properly fish. So today we're with our Detroit River expert. You see all of his reports all year long, Captain Eric Long from Long Lines Charters. And Eric, you know, we're talking about properly rigging, and I really want to speak to the guys who just don't fish Detroit River all that much. How do you start? How do you go? Now, I got spin casting, you got bait casting. Let's first talk about the power on the rods. That's a big mistake people make.
Yeah, I mean, it's all preference, but you're going to want a medium to a medium heavy typically.
Exactly.
And people run a 5.5 to a 6 foot rod.
That's the key. I see guys with rods that are too long to control these great big jigs that we typically use.
Yep.
6.5 is just too long. Myself personally, 5.9 medium heavy, that's my go-to rod. That's what I think you probably handed me right here. And let's talk, the other thing is, let's talk about the line setup that you use on your guide boat and why it matters to go super thin.
So we run anywhere from 8 to 10 pound braid. So this is Power Pro 10 pound test.
Sure, got it right here.
Either in yellow or white, it makes it nice. You can see the line.
Correct.
The fish are not line shy. We're fishing stained water, so it's not like it's going to be a big deal where they're going to shy away from your line.
And the diameter on this, guys, this 10 pound that I'm holding is 2 pound test diameter. Eric, why is that so important? It's line blowout in that current, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you're going to have like different variables in the water column. You're going to have a top current because the wind's blowing a certain way,
right.
And then there's going to be a current in the bottom. They're all different, so you might have a bow in your line if you got too much line out.
Exactly, and so the thinner of line you can use, the better. And also that takes us now to the bottom side of the rig. When I first fished with Eric, I thought he was insane because I thought we were fishing with anchors, but there's a method to your madness. Really, you're 1/2 ounce to 1 ounce. That's your range, isn't it, for jig size?
I mean, honestly, I'm 5/8 to 1.5.
Exactly.
So I'm even heavier
you're
than
even
that.
heavier than that.
Typically, you're going to have a 1 ounce jig day in and day out. We don't go much lighter than that.
And that basically is doing what? Just taking the bow out, right?
Yeah, it's just taking the bow out, and then you can't be effective if you don't feel the bottom. Like being vertical is very important, but it's more important being near the bottom.
Right, because if you don't know where you're going to drag, and if you drag on the Detroit River, you're done.
It's game over.
It's game over. No matter how many jigs you buy from the bait shop and Mark and the boys over there, you will go back and buy more because you will leave them all on the bottom. So let's talk about color a little bit. Now these are, right now we're using the wind out. I've got the Motor City Minnow on. Well, I'll pick up another pack. This is kind of that Pimp Daddy one. You've got what on? The standard wind out worm?
I'm running a Motor City. It's like a camel color or green. It's like a motor oil basically with flake. And that's a pretty day in and day out. That and black are going to be like ones that work every day.
Right, and the basic rig here that I'm holding is a 3/4 ounce jig. And if you notice, I've got a silver jig here that Eric gave me, matching that bottom of the blue ice, and running a free swinging basically a 3-inch stinger hook. Yep. And that's super important. That stinger's critical for you, isn't it?
Yeah, we run a 2.5 to 3 inch, typically a 3 inch. It's going to get us behind the bait typically, so you're not going to snag your tail.
And you're going to freewheel it, right?
I never attach it.
Okay, and that doesn't snag up, guys. Actually, to be honest, hooking it up seems to snag up more than not hooking it up, doesn't it?
I agree. I mean, yes.
I think so too.
I think it floats off the bottom. I think when it's in the tail, I think you're actually dragging the bottom, and you'll have zebra hook, muscles on your hook more
Here's
often.
the other fun thing, guys. Eric and I both use a snap, a really small cross-lock snap. Now, typically, this has got a little fluorocarbon on it that Eric's got on one of his rods. We both have been known to tie direct from our braid right to our snap. And a snap is normally a no-no when you're jig fishing, but not on the Detroit River. Why?
I mean, it's not going to matter. I mean, we're fishing, you're going at 0.5 to 1.5 miles an hour down the river, and the water's stained. These fish are going to either hit it or they're not.
That's right.
So
and when they hit it,
we're looking for a reaction bite.
Exactly. It's a river fish.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing. Guys, remember that. These fish don't have time to sit and inspect your bait. They see it, it's hit it or not hit it.
Correct.
And that's exactly why. So the other thing that the little tiny cross-lock does, Eric, is it allows us to switch baits frequently.
Which we do.
Which we do, exactly. And talk about that. A lot of people go, oh, that's a bunch of baloney. You don't need 6 different jig colors and 8 different worm and body bait colors. That's not true, is it?
I mean, we have a lot of different stuff, but I can tell you every day we'll usually start out with a couple on everybody's rod that worked the day prior.
Okay.
But it's not where we're usually ending up. So we start out with usually 5 or 6 different setups, and at
Base
the
colors.
end of the day, Yeah, base colors, basically. End of the day, we're going to be at something different.
Exactly. And a lot of that, guys, is that the fish see these baits differently based on the water color.
Correct.
And the depth that we're fishing, because the less light penetration, one day Eric might be fishing, 20, 25 foot of water in the river. The next day you might be out at 40 foot of water.
Or deeper. There's spots where we fish that are 55 to 60.
Exactly. And so when that happens, you have to go ahead and change the color, because as you get deeper and less light penetration, different colors start to show up better than other colors.
I mean, yeah, it seems like antifreeze, anything green, for whatever reason,
Right.
they see it better, and that's going to be a low light condition.
And that's antifreeze, what we're talking about right there. This is an Eric Long series that the bait shop carries. Guys, and actually, if you're looking for a great jig, the bait shop in Waterford, I know there's other bait stores that carry the Wyandotte Worm products and the jigs that they make, but this Eric Long series has got a silly sharp hook, and that's part of it, isn't it?
Yeah, they're all like a sickle hook style. I think those are the Eagle Claws, but that one right there is I think it's a 1.5 ounce, so that's going to help you.
This I would anchor my boat with if I wasn't fishing with Eric.
And honestly, that works good in deep water, but I can tell you, in the spring, we've caught plenty of big fish in 8 to 10 feet of water with that.
Exactly.
Because we'll put a big profile minnow on the back of that.
Right. And they hit it.
And they smoke it. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's one of the keys. So guys, if you're learning how, or you're thinking of coming over to Eric's neck of the woods, number one, if you've never fished the Detroit River, I'd strongly suggest that you call Eric on the phone, Long Lines Charter Service. Behind me is this beautiful 226 Robalo. That's right, this is the boat you'd be fishing out of on the Detroit River. Now with his bow mount and 20 years of experience, Eric's a master at controlling the boat. It gives everybody a comfortable place to stand, and a day on the water with a group of 3 or 4 guys, you will learn so much about how to properly fish the Detroit River that regardless of the guide fee, is so much education there that when you do elect to come back with your own boat, if you do, you'll be way better off, you'll catch way more fish. And what you'll find out is a lot of guys don't elect to come back with their boat because of the traffic, because of the sheer traffic of the river. They call you year in and year out.
I got guys that have boats and they'll fish with me.
Exactly, year in and year out. This is one of those circumstances where a normal weekend day of decent weather, how many boats from top to bottom?
Thousands.
Thousands,
more than
maybe.
thousands,
yes. And some of them will even get frustrated and trickle out into the lakes because
which is really good too.
Yeah, that's good too. But you know what? Give Eric a call. Whatever you do, get yourself down here. It's mid-March. It's time to hit the Detroit River. It's time to hit Monroe, Bulls Harbor, Luna Pier, and also Eric's favorite spot, which is Lake St. Clair. That'll be another segment, another time, where we'll have Eric out there talking about all his favorite tactics. But until then, this is John Bergsma with Captain Eric Long from Long Lines Charters. Join us here at the Detroit River for this spring run. So like I said at the top of the show, we're here in the showroom at Freeway Sports Center, and Jim and the gang have got boats everywhere. Good luck pulling in the parking lot. There's enough parking for people buying, but let me tell you what, there's not room for much else. He has got an awesome supply of boats, and I am seeing more Angler Quests and more Polar Crafts on this dealer lot than anywhere I've been all year. That means he was ready for this season, ready for this sales season. He's got boats to sell, and let me tell you what, it's gonna get silly. I've been talking about tackle sales, guys running out by early mid-June. I think you're gonna see the same exact thing happen with boats. The supply chains throughout all the manufacturing industries have been a little bit disrupted, which means guys may not be able to get, dealers may not be able to get enough product to service their customers deep into the summer. So if you've got any idea of getting a boat, get down here to Freeway Sports Center, right off 23 at Thompson Road in Fenton. They've got a good supply of boats right now, but I can tell you what, just standing where I'm standing right now and looking out the windows, I'm seeing 3 different customers walking around looking at boats. There's people here on a Monday morning boat shopping. So that means you're gonna have to get in here, get with the salesman, get your best price, get out on the water and enjoy everything that Southeast Michigan has to offer. And as we're talking about this, I'm just gonna tell you, again, I can't reemphasize it enough. Get there, get your boat, and get it early, because guys, dealerships, no matter how prepared they are, sales are so good right now with stimulus money coming into families. that, you know what, people are pulling the trigger on these boats just as fast as they come into the lot. So hey, get with Jim, get with one of the salesmen here at Freeway Sports Center. Again, it's on US 23 at Thompson Road right here in Fenton. We'll see you there. Hey guys, awesome report this week. I am super happy to be doing reports for open water fishing. Like I said, next week we're going to add a Detroit River report to this report series. We're going to go back to Monroe and try to refine that bite just a little better. We'll probably go back to Port Clinton as well, and we're hopefully going to get our first Saginaw Bay or Lake St. Clair open water report as well. So stay tuned here to the Fisherman's Digest video report all season long. We'll see you again next week.